Walsh, and I am a program coordinator with the Papa John Center. And we welcome everybody joining us today about passive income, social media, and video marketing. And today our presenter is Brandon Adams. We're going to keep this pretty casual and just kind of prompt it with some questions and let Brandon really take the wheel of guiding us through his adventures. So Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about your background and your experience?
Yeah, I'll start off first off, grateful to be here. I love Iowa State University. I graduated, going back in time, I went there in 2008, graduated in 2012 in business management, minor in entrepreneurship. Still have many friends there today and just great connection. So great to be here, and I want to answer any questions I can around anything. And I'll kind of like go back in time and how it kind of tied in Iowa State and then how it led to video marketing, production, TV shows, and then we can go into any kind of questions. You guys kind of a background of me. So I grew up in Northeast Iowa. I don't know how many people here are from Iowa, but I grew up in Garnavillo, Iowa, a small town, 700 people. I grew up in the ice business. So my dad sold packaged ice for a living. We sold bagged ice to bars, restaurants, convenience stores. And so that was my kind of beginning, working as a delivery guy and delivering ice and being a mom and pop business. And then fast forward, I went to college. And while at Iowa State University, I took a class. It was Econ 334. I think it's a different name now for what the program is. But it was a class that gave you the opportunity to pursue your own idea and project and basically develop it throughout the project. And the person at the end of the program that would win cash and then connections. So I took a product called Arctic Stick to that class. It was an idea I came up with. It was a product to cool and flavor drinks. And basically it was a product I came up with while working in the ice business. I wanted to introduce something new to the market that didn't necessarily have to be frozen. It's something that I could reuse, put in a bottled beverage specifically like this, because ice cubes are hard to put in, and develop it. And so throughout that class, I developed the product, CAD drawings, designs, everything. And we ended up winning, won some cash. And so after college, I graduated that semester. I ended up pursuing that. I ended up getting some patents, trademarks, even got featured on the cover of Inventor's Digest, and ended up launching that product in the market. Well, a couple things happened where it led me to video production and getting out of the ice business. Was in the process of doing that, for one, I realized how hard it was to take a product to market. But two, I realized that one of the biggest components of doing any kind of launch was raising money. And I was bootstrapping and putting my own money in. So I turned to crowdfunding. And I don't know if you guys can, in the chat here, put if you know what crowdfunding is, yes or no. Crowdfunding is a way to raise money from a crowd. And in this case, whether a Kickstarter, Indiegogo campaign, reward-based crowdfunding, people would pledge money, basically pre-order your product or service, and give you the money. And then you would use that money to take that product to market. Well, I did a crowdfunding campaign. We created a video, which is horrible now looking back on it. And then I raised some money. We raised about 26 grand in 30 days. Then I saw an opportunity. I realized, one, beyond this invention, I saw there was opportunity to become the crowdfunding expert and help other people raise money. But I also started to see the power of what the video did for our fundraising. The video is what made a compelling story that told what we were doing and got people to give us money. So that was kind of a transition in my career where I'm like, okay, I'm going to help people raise money, and I'm going to help with video production. So I ended up, fast forward, we ended up taking the product to market, but I got more into crowdfunding, started a company called Keys to the Crowd, now Acceler Media Group, which is still around today. And we started helping people raise money for their ideas and projects and endeavors. And how I got into the actual video production space is we were creating videos to help launch campaigns. But a guy came to me, a guy named Greg Roulette, and he said, hey, I have a pilot run of a TV show called Ambitious Adventures. If you help me raise money for this endeavor on Kickstarter, I'll make you my co-host and we will create a show. I said yes. Within 60 days, we raised the money for the first season. And then we ended up taking that show to Entrepreneur Network and then Amazon Prime. And then that was my beginning of video production world. So raising money for people and producing TV shows. Since then, I've been a part of 5 different TV shows, one film called Think and Grow It's a Legacy. I'm actually working with a project now with the show Wicked Tuna. It's a very well-known show that's going on season 13. I've won Emmys for our shows, Success in Your City, and also a documentary called Red Flags. And what I also do is I use video production and marketing to help scale companies. We have public companies, private companies. Our portfolio, we manage $1 billion portfolio of companies from public to private to all sectors. And I use my expertise in video marketing, TV production to help them grow through commercial shoots with influencers to digital marketing campaigns to you name it. And so in a high level, in 4 minutes, that is kind of my background, how I got into it. There's a lot of other obstacles along the way that we can always go into. I almost went bankrupt a couple times. I've had massive failures along the way, successes, failures. One thing for sure is it's not an easy road, but it's worth it. Enjoy the adventure, as Iowa State says. But that's just a little bit about me.
Great, thank you. So what would you say are some of the ways to make this passive income using social media in video marketing? How can people use that?
So when I said yes to do this talk, and I was thinking about passive income, and I've generated passive income for myself. It took a few years to get to that point, but you look at the world we live in social media. So I believe you look at social media, it's your digital footprint. I believe it's no longer an option. It's a something you have to do. And so, because people, if they're looking to work with you, looking to buy from you, they're going to search you online. They're going to search stuff about you. They want to see who you are, what you do, if you're credible, if you're a authoritative figure, and they want to see content about you talking about whatever it is you're selling. So just know that for one aspect of it. Looking at passive income, you have the YouTubers out there. I've been friends with Jake Paul before. He actually flew out to one of our events. I've spent time with him. He now is going from YouTube guy to singer to rapper to now doing massive fights. And a guy like that, people look at, they see like the Mr. Beast, or they see Jake Paul, and they say, okay, you have somebody that creates videos and they put it up on YouTube, and they're getting passive income. And they are getting paid per views. They're getting deals where people will pay them just to have a product in their video. And that is something that can happen down the road. But what most people won't tell you is Jake Paul and Logan Paul, back when they were kids in Ohio, and by the way, they were hard workers, they started creating videos that they were just doing for fun. It was more of an entertainment thing for them. They created thousands of videos, and it took a few years before they even had really any traction. And so most people don't talk about the early beginning it takes to be able to get that early traction. And so it was probably a few years before they started making real money behind it. And sorry, I think that somebody's on the bus right now.
Yeah.
Power Zoom. And so most people don't really look at that aspect. And then eventually it got to the point where they're getting passive income. I share that story with you because I don't want, if you're watching this right now, I don't want you to get discouraged. If you're going to go out and create a YouTube channel, create some profiles, create some videos, and you're 3 months in and you haven't made any money, because it takes time. I'm a decade in the working right now, and those people are also a decade in the working. So it does take time. But different ways you can make passive income is if you get enough subscribers and viewers, you can get paid through YouTube, and they'll pay you a minimal amount for the views. Obviously, as you get a lot more views and followers, you can make more money from the actual platform. There's also things like Instagram. So Instagram, I will publish reels, and there's an option on there where you can submit to, hey, you qualify for a bonus, they call it, reels. So I'll get reels, and they'll send me a few $100 here and there for just views of reels. And I have on Instagram, I think close to 30,000 followers, and I'm putting out 2 videos a day, and I'm consistently putting out content. So like, I'm not going to retire off of that kind of money, but that's a way to make passive income from just stuff you're already creating. Now, I will tell you, take one thing away from all this that really could help you with making money with social media is a couple things. One, you do not need 1 million followers. Heck, you don't even need 1,000 followers. You don't need thousands of views. You just need the right views, and you need the right followers. If you have the right audience, like a very specific audience that you're speaking to that understands who you are and what your services are, and they're interested in them and they're willing to buy them, that's where the real gold is. You could have $1 million business with 500 to 1,000 loyal followers. And most people don't talk about that. If you have loyal followers that are your ideal audience, that is the most likely to buy your product or service, that means that's going to help you make money. So when I focus on the content that I'm creating online, I'm creating content that's speaking directly to my ideal audience. Yes, some of my content is really just like inspiring people, motivate them. But then I have content that's talking about how I help people with video production, video content. And then I have content where I'm speaking directly to CEOs of 7, 8, 9-figure companies, because that's normally the kind of people that I work with. And so I'm creating videos that speaking directly to them. And then when those people hire me, that's where my revenue comes in, and then eventually passive income. And so think about, if you're going to create content, who is your ideal person that you want to be in front of? And you might not know right now, but you got to start. And the best thing to do for creating content online is you can just start by sharing about who you are as a person. People will buy from people. They will connect with other human beings based on your hobbies, your interests, your backgrounds. And then the next thing is, okay, what do you want to be known as? Early in the story I shared, I was in the ice business. So my videos were showing around ice. And then I was talking about my invention. And then I transitioned into crowdfunding. And then I was talking about best tips on how to raise money. And I was sharing different stories around crowdfunding. And then people would come to me to work with me from crowdfunding. And then eventually I got to where I'm at today, from video production, investing in companies and helping companies grow. And now I have that audience that will buy from me. So starting out, you might just share about your journey. But once you know what you're offering to your ideal customer, that is where your content creation begins. That's what you're going to talk about in your videos. That's what you're going to put on your social media, because those people will reach out to you. They'll direct message you. They'll reach out to the link on your page to your website, and they will eventually buy from you. So don't worry about getting millions of followers. You just got to have the right followers, the right views, and eventually they will buy your products and services. And then also some other things that I do that could be passive income is I have investment in over 30 companies. Some are public, some are private. What I do is I will post about things about the companies I'm involved with, but also I'm very passionate about. And I'll give you an example. I'm a partner in a company called Drip Bar. If you guys all ever had IV health like treatment, you go in, you get an IV. They have for some people, whether it's a hangover, but some is for like their health, their energy, their wellness. We have 50 locations around the country. We'll have another 150 by the end of the year. I post videos of me getting IV treatments. I talk about in my videos after a workout how much it's like powerful for me in my health. And from that, people reach out, and it's led to people wanting to buy franchises because we have a franchise business. And so from them watching my stories, watching my videos, they reach out, and that leads to income for our company. It's just a way of me kind of showing people into my life, which turns into passive income because I'm already creating content anyways. Other things you can do is you could do joint ventures or affiliate deals where you have a unique link that is for a book or a product or service, whatever that is, where if you're bringing business to somebody else based on your audience, they will literally pay you for that deal that goes through. So I could have a link that says the domain link /BTA. And in my stories, I'll do something talking about it, and I'll have a clickable link. If somebody follows my stories or follows my page and they click on that link and they go to it and they purchase, on the back end, that company knows that I directed that sale to them, and they'll send me a 10 to 30% cut of the total deal. And that's another way just to get passive income from something I'm doing already. So hopefully that answered the question in full there.
Great, thank you. And thanks for bringing that up about affiliate links, because we have upcoming series every Wednesday for the next couple of weeks. And actually next week, we're talking about drop shipping on Amazon.
Nice.
And affiliate links. So that's coming up next week, then followed by digital products and evergreen online courses. And then the last week, NFTs and crypto. So all different ways of passive income.
Another amazing space, crypto, NFTs, a whole nother world.
Definitely, definitely. So this is kind of that debate, right? Whether this is passive income, because it sounds like you do a lot of work to maintain this and do all your posts and such. So is it time consuming? And, how much time per week are you dedicating to this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be straight with it. people use the word passive income, and I definitely know what it is. I mean, I have 20 some streams of income that come in every single month from various aspects. But either way I look at it, there is some work to be done. there is no free lunches per se, but there are things that you can put into place that can make you money for a lifetime. And there's going to be, whether it's work on the front end and then you get paid for that for life, or it's maybe a little bit work here and there. So there's always going to be work involved with it. And you look at specifically for content creation, you're going to have to put the work in up front, and eventually you get to a place where you have built up a following, you built up an audience where it's much easier. Deals are coming to you, and it's really do I want to take that money from that person and do that deal, or do I want to do this deal? You can get to, eventually you can get to that point if you're very committed, but at the beginning stages, it's not going to just be easy. Whatever you think it's going to take, I'll say times it by 10. It is much harder than you think, but it's very possible, because I started with 0 followers. I started with nobody that knew me, from a small town in Iowa, just creating videos on my own with my phone. I had no budget, and eventually I transitioned into high-end productions and shoots. So if you just start and stick with it, eventually the things will come into place where you can get that so-called passive income opportunities.
Great. We had a question come in here. Andrew would like to know, do you have a system schedule for content creation? Do you make content in batches?
Yes. So I'm going to give 2 parts of this question, Andrew, because I don't want to overwhelm people, because a lot of people come to me and they'll ask me what my system is, because my system took years to make. I have batches where I will sit down once a month, twice a month, where I will sit down and I'll knock out 20, 30 videos, where my team will come up with ideas, or even now they use ChatGPT, which is pretty insane. And they'll give the prompt and they'll say video topics, and then they'll give them to me, and I'll use that as ideas, and I'll just riff right off of those ideas. And then I'll shoot them with my iPhone on 4K, my iPhone, and just talk right here, right where I'm at here with the ring light, and I'll knock out 20, 30 videos. And then we do regular shoots, high-end production, where I'll read from a teleprompter, or I'll do content from a videographer, and then we'll edit that. So that goes out over time. Another thing I do is I record everything. Whatever I'm doing, it's being recorded, whether I'm speaking in Detroit this week, I'm in Boise, Idaho the week after. When I go speak at an event, I tell them, hey, I want to get access to the video footage. I give that to my team, and they edit it up and turn it into reels and multi-purpose content. So that's one side of it, setting a schedule together, having topics, and knocking all at once. Now, the other part of it, which I still do to this day, which makes it a lot easier, is making your content system a part of your lifestyle. So what I mean by that is, we all have a phone. Most of us, I would assume, do in 2023. And we have a very powerful camera on this phone that just blows my mind. There's projects being like films are doing on iPhones. I will create videos with my phone while I'm out and about, and there'll be a video based on my experience or what's on my mind that day, whether it's a meeting I just had, or whether it was an event I was at. I will talk about a topic, and I'll have a value add in that video. It's not me sharing the experience and then my kind of take on it, and then how it can relate to the people watching the video. So I'm shooting it with my phone, and usually it's anywhere from like 30 to 90 seconds long. I record it, shoot it, boom, done. And I will just cut the beginning and the end, so it doesn't show me pressing the button. And then what I'll do is, on my phone, I have all the social media apps, so I don't have to ever go to my desktop. I have, for the platforms I'm mainly posting to, is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and then I'll have it upload to YouTube as well. But what I do is I'll post it to my Facebook. I'll post the same video to my Instagram and also to my LinkedIn and Twitter. And I'm just multi-purposing one video asset that I have. And I do that within 10 minutes. So I'm creating content while I'm out and about, whether it's a topic that's on my mind or something that comes to me, I will write it down, and then I'll just do it. And so do things that are a part of your lifestyle, so you're not having to just sit there and think, okay, what am I going to do for a video? It's like, hey, I just got done doing this activity, and then I'm like, oh, that would be a good video. And then I shoot it and I upload it. And I don't look back at it, because a lot of times people will look back at the video and they question how they looked, how they said something, and they will like be their worst critic, and then they'll never post it. So I just post it and get it out. And so that's my system. But in terms of like editors, I have a team of editors that can edit stuff. I have a girl, she actually has been a great asset to our team. She just graduated high school and she's been working with us full time now. She will take my videos and turn them into reels where the things pop up, subtitles, because 85% of videos are actually watched with no sound. They're reading the subtitles. So that's my system.
Great. So that kind of ties into one of the questions I have as far as how do you figure out where to fit your videos into your business strategy? So it sounds like you're constantly posting, but then is there ever times that you do have a strategy of posting certain videos or topics?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to answer this question. For one, you have you as a personal brand. So me, Brandon T. Adams, I'm a personal brand. So I'm posting content about what I do for a living. And I'm posting about who I am as a person. That's one side of it. And then there's, let's say I have a company called Rise and Record. I have a company called Accelerate Media Group. They're different brands that I'm an owner of these brands. And so each brand has its own way of posting content. And so I'll give the example for Rise and Record. That's one that kind of comes to my mind is, so that has a brand, a pages, a website, everything else. Part of the videos that are out there are me talking, but a lot of it is past content from it's an event around video marketing. And so what we do is we bring in, basically we take recorded keynotes from past people that spoke at the event, and we'll do 30-40 second clips of them talking, and we'll post it to our pages. So that's representing the brand. So whatever your product or service is for your company, make sure that business page is communicating that to your audience. So it's sharing the best values of the product or service. It's sharing case studies, testimonials from people that have went through the service or have had the product or service, and that's helping you sell the product or service. So that will kind of determine. So if you're a personal brand, you're sharing what you do, how you help people, and about you as a person. If it's a business brand, that business brand, it shows the background of the company, the people a part of it, but also it's stating what they do and how they help people. So that's how to kind of look at it in both aspects of it. And then in strategy wise, like content's king. I don't think you could do too much content. Putting out a lot of content, and again, just educating people. You know, they say it's like between the 7th and 19th time somebody has to see something or a touch point before they become either a customer or even do something like give you an email address where it leads to a potential sale. So content is king, consistently putting it out, but also taking the content you have and distributing it effectively. So very strategically, we will do deals where, let's say we're doing our social media, but like we're trying to close a deal for whatever it is. I will do personal videos that I'm speaking directly to that person about whatever it is. Like, hey, here's what we're working on. I'm really excited to partner together. Here's different ways we can help you. I just want to say I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I will send personal videos to people that are leads, and that will increase my conversion rate substantially because it's that personal touch that you do. And I found personal videos are a great way to stay on top of mind for people. I've even done birthday videos, saying happy birthday every once in a while if I'm feeling happy. And then just congratulation videos, or just videos. Every year I send out about 200 videos that are Christmas videos. And let's say, hey, Judy, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I appreciate everything you've done with me for Iowa State University and our event Young Entrepreneur Convention. I hope you're doing well. If you ever need anything, let me know. But Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's, and we'll see you later. And so that's just a personal video. I'll do a couple of hundred of them every year during the holidays. Instead of sending a business card, I'll send out 200 personal videos. And it's not one video I shoot once and distribute 200 people. It's 200 personal videos because it's that personal touch. And I just also love doing it because it's good to just kind of look back on the year and the people that have had an impact on my life.
Judy just commented that your personal videos are great. So
good. I'm glad you like it, Judy.
We had a couple more questions that came in here. Kazito asked, this is Nito, I've tried to situate myself in YouTube content creating. It's quite difficult to get 1K subscribers and 4K to watch me. It's true to attract real and royal people, but how do you identify them? I create science, improvised, and experiments, and was planning to include entertainment videos.
So good question. I mean, I'll tell you, YouTube hasn't been a big focus of mine. I don't even have 1,000 YouTube subscribers because I haven't really put the energy on it. But I will tell you, I still upload my content on YouTube because Google owns YouTube and it helps with SEO. If somebody's searching something online, it's more likely your video is going to pop up. And for me, that leads directly to my site, which turns into a customer. So in a way, YouTube has generated a lot of money for me. But my route isn't trying to get paid by subscription, how many viewers and all that. So I will say it's hard. From what I learned, I've like experienced firsthand very known YouTubers that have tens of millions of followers do their videos. They put so much time and effort into them. And I know the thumbnail is a big part of it too, because it's like clickbait. It's something that people see, they click it. And then also you have to really get their attention. I know what the YouTubers would do is it was like scenes that are in like 3 to 6 second increments. So it shows something, it goes to the next thing, goes to the next thing, goes to the next thing. Something very captivating because I mean, I got ADD, like attention deficit disorder. It's hard to stay focused on something. So how can you keep it very engaging, or they wonder what's happening next, and make it something that a topic that you have an audience that is really raving about it? Like I know gamers create videos and people love watching them play the games. So whatever it is your area of expertise is, or your background of the videos you're creating here, how can you create valuable content around that better than other people and have it speak directly to that audience? And I think over time, if you consistently put out your content, then eventually you're going to gain the traction you want. But it's a long game. It takes time, it takes energy, and you just got to be consistent with it.
Thank you. I think I'm just going to kind of ask you the questions as they come in because they're kind of all over, but we're kind of talking all over.
Yeah.
Peter would like to know, how do you analyze your analytics on YouTube or Instagram?
How do you analyze your analytics? So like check out, so on basically, if you look at, if I'm interpreting this question right, so you can go on the back end of, like for one thing, I will watch, like I'll check out the views of people liking and the stories because I want to actually know who is more likely to like look at my content on a regular basis. But you can also go on the back end of these platforms and you can search based on what country they're in, what state, what age group, like you can see all this stuff, what time they're more likely to watch videos. Because I have people that follow me from all over the world. I mean, from Saudi Arabia to Australia to UK to you name it. So all you do is go in the back end of the profile. It's like under the account area. And I can't remember what the term is, but you look at it. If you spend a few minutes on it, you'll find it. You can see the data behind the people that are actually watching your stuff. I'm guessing there's a limit in terms of like, you have to have at least a track record of content before they give you that. I don't know the answer to that because I've just been doing content for so long, and I know when I go back there, I can see it.
Does that influence you then of maybe future content that you're putting out or directing different audiences?
So yes, but I guess I've known so much now because I've been doing it so long based on the feedback and the people that I know that work with me and the people that are watching my stuff. Those are the ones I speak to. Now, there's a lot of people that follow me and they might not be somebody that'll ever work with me, at least now, but 6 years from now, they might. If I had one a month ago, they had been following my content for 6 years. I didn't even know it until I met them. And then they ended up becoming a customer of mine. And it's because they were consistently following my content. By the way, they were one of the lurkers. They never liked, they never commented, they were watching. So because I know who my audience is, I'm speaking to that, but I do happen to get other people that follow me and still get value on my content. And they're all saying the riches are in the niches. And starting out, I wanted to just talk to everybody. When you talk to everybody, you're really talking to nobody. So for me, I've really learned to communicate my messaging around, okay, who I want. So yeah, I have inspiring content, motivating content that a lot of people like that. But then I have content that's all around using video, using social media, growing companies, and talking to CEOs, because that content is speaking to the people that are going to be likely to work with me, that people that need video or people that are in that group.
Great. Maddie is wondering what platform you use for sending the personal videos.
All on my phone, I create the video, I text it. So in this case, in most cases, I have their cell phone number. It's somebody that is in my sphere in some way, and I will text the video to them. And literally, I'm just shooting and texting it to them. You can send it to them by WhatsApp, or I mean, if you're gonna send it by email, what you can do is you could upload it to YouTube under unlisted, like a private link, and then you could send to them and say, hey, I created this video for you, and then they can click it. I just, because I, in most cases, have the cell phone number for these kind of situations, I'm texting it to them because they're going to be, I mean, they almost always are going to watch it, view it, and people are like surprised, wow, you created a personal video for me. So most of my strategic videos like that are through a text.
Great. Carolyn's asking, do you have any video editing resources for individuals editing their own content who do not have a team? Do you mainly use social media editing tools, or do you use separate software?
So I will say, like, I've had editors for a long time now, and they use whether Adobe or Final Cut Pro. I've used, what is it, custom for Apple? It's iMovie. I've used that before, just simple. I mean, I'm not much of an editor. But there's also, like, in the app is probably the easiest, because especially when you're doing reels, you literally can take your clip, upload a part of it, and then you can go to the next one, add another clip, transition. They've made it pretty easy now in the app where you can easily create your video within the app. I'm talking specifically, let's say like a TikTok or a Instagram reel. So there's a lot of things out there. I know they take, I mean, countless hours to learn. But you look at our team, if you use Final Cut Pro, Adobe, or iMovie.
Okay. How does someone decide what platform would be best for them to use?
So there's, I mean, kind of, you look at who's the audience you're trying to get to. I also believe in multi-purposing content to multiple platforms, because if you create one piece of content, why not just post it to another platform? It's not that hard. You look at Facebook, it is starting to become a middle-aged group. When I say that, I feel older now, because that, I remember when Facebook was started and created, but there's a lot of people now that, let's say, anywhere from 30 to 70 years old or older on Facebook. And so that, in my case, in that audience, they're potential buyers or people that I could work with. You look at Instagram, it's kind of a younger base. And then you look at like Snapchat, that's even a younger base. And then you look at TikTok. I mean, there are still a lot of people in my age group and older that are on TikTok because there's over 1 billion users on it. I mean, it's a numbers game. There is so many people on it, you're going to reach your people. But TikTok, I found, is a lot of younger kids are doing it. Heck, there's kids in there that are doing way better than me. And I don't know if they understand what they're doing, but they're creating followers. You look at like Charlie D'Amelio, she within like 12 months created one of the largest followings on TikTok. And that was a new platform, right timing, right content, and just kind of clicked. So then you look at LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is probably one of the most powerful platforms that's underutilized right now, especially being in college. Like, if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, when we get done today, go and create a LinkedIn profile. Because if you're looking to get a job, or you're looking to have your own business or whatnot, that person that's looking to hire you or work with you, I guarantee you they're going to check out your profile on LinkedIn. And if you don't have a profile filled out, that's going to be a red flag for them. And so fill out your LinkedIn profile. And then even the next step, post videos on LinkedIn. It has become somewhat of a social platform. I said this 2 years ago, before anybody was really like creating more social. I said LinkedIn is a place to get in early, and it still is. So putting content on LinkedIn is powerful. There's a lot of professionals on there. There's a lot of people that have money on there that are consuming content, and also it's just a great place to get more clients.
Thank you. So tying on to that, Philip is asking, how do you recommend getting your first 100 to 1,000 viewers on social media? And how does it look different than 10,000 to 100,000?
Good question. First, you start and create your profile and just create consistent content, whether it's daily or how many times a week. I mean, output is king, but put in content that is valuable to your specific audience. So who are those followers that you want? The other thing you could do is you could do a follow strategy, follow the people and comment on their pages the people that you want to be connected with, because they're going to be a lot more likely to reciprocate and follow you back and follow your content. There's people that will spend hours on strategy around this. They'll do like a follow, unfollow strategy, but you can just do a follow. You follow somebody, you engage with their content, like their content, generally like consume it. And then over time, they're going to follow you back. So that's another thing. So posting consistent content, follow, unfollow, or don't unfollow, just follow them. The next step is, if you want to scale, I mean, it is hard to gain a large amount of followers without like buying the followers or paid advertising. I mean, it can happen, but I'll give you an example. My wife and I did a video. It was very unexpected. I'm sitting here over here on the couch here, and I was working on my computer, and my wife and I sometimes will joke with each other, and she came in and she was recording me, and I didn't even know it. And I always have my ring on. And so it was kind of a joke, and she knows that. So like some days when I work out, I'll take it off because I don't want it scuffed. And I forgot to put it on. So she was joking, and she did a video showing the ring, and then go up to me and she did, "What are you doing without your ring on?" Like joking. And she put some music behind it. Needless to say, the video's got like 8 million views, 100,000 likes. And by the way, there was hate. There was like, people said I was a cheater. People said she's crazy. There was all kinds of trolls on it. And then there was people that were really nice. And that's when you kind of know things started to go viral. But think about, how many followers do you think we gained from that? I'm sure if you want to put in the chat, you can put how many followers, 6 million views, 100,000 likes. How many followers do you think we gained? Well, I'll tell you, I guarantee your answer is wrong. Less than 100.
Oh.
Less than 100 followers. And to be honest, the people that did follow, they will probably never work with us in any format. So that's why it's important to have the right followers, the right viewers. And so seeing something like that, and it would have been different probably 5 years ago. We live in a different world now, where to really get those followers, you got to create really quality content, engage with those people, or it's paid advertising. So we do paid advertising campaigns that put us in front of the right audience that are more likely to buy from us, and they become more likely to actually follow us. Now, there's also things out there which I don't agree with, because I mean, you can do it, but it doesn't really help with a business standpoint, in my opinion. There are campaigns where you can pay for followers, but in most cases, in some cases they're bots, or some cases they're followers from other countries that are, in my case, like an age group that probably will never buy from me. And so it just really for people's ego to show they have more followers. And then there's actually things where you can pay groups. And I've tried these before, where basically what they'll do is you'll pay money to a group, and they will distribute out that money to other influencers. And they'll have a group of influencers that will tag you in posts or their stories. And then that's how you gain followers. The difficult thing with that is you can't control, unless you're talking directly to the influencer, you can't control what kind of followers you're getting. So I might get followers that are 12 years old. But I mean, 12-year-olds watch my content doesn't really help my end goal for my business. So there are other things out there where you can put money towards it to get more followers. But in 95% of the cases, I would highly suggest against it, because it's not really going to help your top line or bottom line for income.
So that works in the reverse also, right? Are they reaching out to you to have you share their?
Yeah, I get offers all the time. Yeah.
But you have to watch who, like, be critical in a sense of what you're putting your name to?
So I've done a few times for, like, I've done for Express Clothing, because I wear their clothes every single day. I wear black every single day. If you watch my videos, it's something I've been doing for 5 years to make life easy. So I do have Express. I've done for Express before, where I've posted with their clothing, but I believe in the product. And I did maybe one other time, I can't remember what it was, where I did a shout out. Now, the ones I do today, I want to be an equity owner of the company. So I'm posting for like Drip Bar, but I'm a shareholder of the company. I'm posting for other companies, but I'm a partner in the company, and they're paying me every month to be a part of the company. So that's that case. Now, a lot of times people have presented ideas, but it just didn't make sense to me, because I didn't want to do a one and done. Now, I've been on the side of negotiating deals with major influencers where we pay them over $100,000 to do some posts. And and they have millions of followers and they have a very legit audience. But even with something like that, I would suggest if we're talking high level here, you want to make sure they're doing consistent content and not just one post, because one post is very hard to see the value of that. You want to see somebody that actually, the influencer that believes in the product, you can see it in how they create the content, but it's built over time. I'll give you an example. I was just with lunch. I came from a lunch. My business partner, Kevin Harrington, he did Shark Tank for 2 seasons. We were talking about a company called Celsius. I love drinking Celsius. I'll probably have one after this. It is an energy drink. Well, when he got involved, the company was a 10-cent stock, $2 million company. Now it's selling for, I think, $100 stock. It's a $5 billion company. But one of their strategies early on was to get different influencers involved with the company. The first person he went to was Flo Rida, and he famous like rapper, singer, and they negotiated a deal where they gave him a stock of the company in return from him promoting. So he created videos talking about drinking, and he loves the product to this day. And even though there's been recent like lawsuits on that whole deal, but anyways, the guy started drinking Celsius, loving it, posted on social media at his concerts, talking about it. Not only was he posting because he had equity in the company, but he really believed in it. So not only did other people want to get involved, people are buying it. The next step that happened is he was friends with the Kardashians. They shipped some product to the Kardashians. The Kardashians, by the way, charged over $1 million a post. At that time, they posted, they didn't ask for anything because they liked the product. So that is the power of what can happen with influencer marketing and posting. But ideally, they got to believe in the product. It has to be a consistent thing, not just a one-off post. So if that answers your question.
It does. Thank you. Kazito is asking, I have opened a publishing house. Do you have any advice for me on how I can advertise it to both clients and partners and sponsors?
So you have a publishing house, so you publish books, I'm assuming. So you want to advertise on your social media for advertisers and sponsors.
Right.
So I think there's multiple areas of content here. There's content that's speaking to the advertisers, like, hey, here's what we do. There's opportunity for this. And then sponsors, hey, here's what we do. There's opportunity in this. And so creating very specific assets that might speak to this person, this person, this person, and just putting out more content in that capacity.
Right. So realistically, what are some expectations of how long it can take to monetize doing this?
I mean, you can monetize it within 30 days if you do it the right approach and you're speaking to the right audience and you have a unique value that you're providing. It just depends how you do it. Like I'll give you an example. Like I love the music space. I'm friends with different country stars and musicians. There's musicians that will turn on their YouTube, or they'll go live on Facebook, that is, and they'll start playing and they'll have a link to their PayPal or Venmo below, and they make money doing that. And so get creative with it. Go live, talk about your product or service. It's like selling on QVC, but it's through a social media platform. You can do things like that. Start small and slowly that can grow. But also there's value in beyond the person that's giving you money in that time. You're building like and trust with somebody. And if the right person sees your content and reaches out to you directly, that partnership can turn into a massive amount of revenue for your company. It could turn into a huge opportunity, open up a door. And so anything I look at for online, I look at it's a numbers game of building like and trust with the right people. And eventually that viewer could turn into a huge partnership. And along the way, yeah, you'll make some money here and there. But if you look at the bigger picture, I can say this because looking back, I'm doing content for 12 years now. I can say that from the long term, it's worth millions upon millions of dollars if you do it right. But it's going to take time. You're going to have wins here and there, but you got to really believe it's going to work. And you got to understand that you're communicating your value to the right audience and you're showing up. Again, you can't do a video this week and expect a paycheck next week. And you got to do more than just one video. It's consistent video content.
Philip is asking, if you were to start a clothing company, something that a lot of people are doing, how would you recommend using social media to differentiate yourself?
Yeah, so talk to a lot of clothing companies. I would say, for one, showing the clothing in stores. Like I've talked to business before where they do almost like a QVC. Every week they do a live video and they show unique offerings for that week and they sell them live on Facebook Live. And so doing like exclusive, like, hey, we only got 3 this month. We have 10 of this item, like showing the scarcity and exclusivity of it. And that is something I've seen from people I've spoke to where it's worked. Even in like cook random, but cookie space, like people making very unique cookies and shipping them out and charging $5 to $10 a cookie and selling them through social media by just doing really cool videos showing the cookies that make you so hungry after seeing it. And I've seen where they'll do every Thursday, hey, we got a new batch. And when they're gone, they're gone. And they usually sell the whole batch out on that Thursday. And so for clothing, I would say, look at how can you do unique, exclusive, like limited quality. I think actually had a case study we did at Iowa State. I think it started with the Z. There's a clothing company where that was their whole thing. They only had so many of that offering in the store, like 3 of the items. So it was scarcity and people like, oh, if I don't get it, I'm going to lose it. So then they purchased it. So think of it that way. Zara is a company. Create unique offerings that are exclusive, limited time, and sell them out. And then create your new unique offering.
So if someone wanted to get started, what would you recommend the first couple steps be?
Create your profiles. Create your social profiles. Have a link to your site or wherever you can get the information, or your landing page or your website, whatever it is, and just start posting content. Just start posting content and have fun with it and find unique, creative ways to, I mean, you guys all can, if you want a great example, go, my Instagram is at Brandon T. Adams. I post every day and I bring people into my life. I'm traveling to Detroit this week. I'll show inside my life. I'll travel to Idaho next week, go to Montana next month. And so I'm bringing people in my life, but I'm also repurposing creative content. And from that, I get reach outs every day where people are looking to partner in some way. And so just create your profiles and start posting. And maybe it's you're doing 2 videos a week starting out, and then you can do 3, and then maybe eventually get to the point where you're doing a video a day. And based on the output will determine how quickly you're going to get to your finish line. And so just start with your phone. You do not need a professional camera. Even though I've done high-end shoots, these phones work great. Sometimes our cell phone videos perform better in ads than our high production videos.
That's crazy, but it's very true.
It's crazy,
I believe you.
But it's true. Yeah.
John is asking, so for Philip's question was asking, how would you differentiate yourself on social media with the clothing line? John is saying, coming off of that question, what about specifically for e-commerce clothing brands? Would you suggest the same?
So, I mean, I would e-commerce. So basically you're just selling from a site that everybody is going to. It's not your own unique, I'm guessing. So to answer the question, I mean, it's really, I guess, a little different because you're probably not doing an exclusive. I would just highlight the products. I mean, a lot of people may not know what you do or what your offerings are. The only way they know is by seeing it. Like I have things that follow me around because I don't know what it is, but I wear black every day. So I have black sweaters and shirts that follow me all around on social media because I clicked on something and now they retarget me. And so it's in front of me and I've been close to buying it before. It's because it's in front of my face. So whatever your offerings are on your Shopify site or e-commerce site, how can you get that in front of your people specifically through a video ad? You can do posts and all that, but it's like I said before, between the 7th and 19th time of seeing something is where that person eventually becomes a buyer or takes action.
Now, I know you talked about earlier with your wife making that video about your ring and you got all different kind of comments. So yeah. What do you do business-wise, though, of those kind of reviews, negative and positive reviews? How do you deal with those reviews and ratings, and especially the negative ones? Yeah,
I mean, here's what I've said to myself to deal with it. I mean, I've had a lot of that over the years, and you're going to have it. You create enough content. I pray for them. I mean, if somebody's posting bad stuff about you, that means pretty much they're putting on to you how they feel about themselves. And so it's actually, I kind of feel bad for the person. It's not even about you, it's just about how they feel about themselves or their situation. And knowing that, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, it is what it is. They're going to put that, and I would suggest not even engaging with it, because that's what they're looking for. It just puts fuel on it. Just ignore it, delete it, and move on. And I've had some trolls over the years that they consistently will do it, and I might sometimes have to block them. It is what it is. But just know, for every troll out there, there's probably 10 people that love your content and they're grateful for it. And yeah.
So what are some of the things you wish you had known somebody would have told you before you got started?
I wish I would have created more content for video wise. I wish I would have found, I was very lucky to find the right mentors early on, but finding people that were who I wanted to be 5 to 10 years down the road, finding people that already achieved what I wanted to achieve, and found a way to get them as my mentor or partner, because they helped guide me through the way, because mistakes take a lot of time and money. And if you want to eliminate those or minimize those mistakes and costly mistakes, you find people that have already done it. It's like hiring the expert. And so that's one thing I've done. But I wish I would have created more content, even coming from how much I've created. I've put so much money into creating content because I believed in the building the right following, building up like and trust. And so I guess maybe I could have invested more, or even like created more content along the way. Yeah.
Great. We're getting down to the end here. Is there any more audience questions that we can ask? Otherwise, I still have more I can be asking you. How much time should you spend? Chidma would like to know.
Yeah. So, I mean, the amount of what you put in is what you get out. To really answer your question, I mean, it's like anything. If you put more time in, put more practice, you're going to get more results. The reason why I've been successful at what I do is because I've been obsessive and giving my life to it. And because of that, I've got the awards and the results from it. But you don't necessarily have to do that. It's putting the time that you're proud of the work that you're doing, and just know the more time you put in, or the more time the people you delegate and the capital you deploy to delegate more time, the more results you're going to get. So it's up to you. Starting out, if you want to do a few hours a week, focus on content, do a few hours, maybe eventually go to 5 hours and scale from there.
Who are the personal brands you follow to find inspiration?
Yeah, so I really like what Lewis Howes is doing. I've known Lewis for I don't know how many years now. He's been very successful. He recently was on the cover of Entrepreneur magazine and Success magazine, and he just got a New York Times bestselling book. I follow him because he does some similar things that I do. He's in the online world, a personal brand, podcasts, and all that. So that's one. And then I like some other brands. So like and they've become my friends over the years. Like Kevin Harrington, it's a different kind of realm. Or I've watched Tim Ferriss. But those are like kind of the personal brands I look at. Or another one that I've really liked, I've met him before, is Alex Hormozi. He's big into building companies, selling them and scaling them. And he's been very successful. He started in the gym world. So I think it's Hormozi is his handle. That's another person that I follow and I kind of look at for content wise.
Great. Chloe is asking, how do you go about getting connected with those mentors, the right people?
A couple of ways. I mean, what I did is I approached them, either paid them money, because people get paid, they pay attention, or I did research on them and found ways to help them achieve their goals. And that's really kind of the short answer. The problem is with most people that have ever achieved something, or let's say they built fame or whatever, everybody wants something from them. They want money, they want introductions, they want. Well, how can you go to them and offer to help them, but actually do it, not just talk about it? And so if you can help that person achieve their goal and go in for the long game, you'll eventually get into business with them. I'm proof. I've done that over the years, but I was in for the long game of how can I support them? How can I provide value to them? How can I show that I'm not just trying to get something from them? So that's one side of it. And then, I mean, there's cases where people said, hey, like, will you mentor me? And that's usually a case where I met the person in person and I connect with them in some way based on their story, their background. And I'll say, you know what, like, happy to check something out, or I've done a couple of calls, they stay connected. And then usually when the person like tries to find ways to help me, then they got my attention because I get so many people that do reach out. So that's what I would say. Long story short, how can you help them? Or even how can you become an intern for them for free? It's not free in the long run, I'll tell you that. Some of my best people that worked in my company, they started on internship and they're like, hey, I want to help you. And down the road, they ended up making more money and they went and did some amazing things because they believed in me and they wanted to show their worth. They didn't like expect, hey, I want to get paid and you don't know me, you don't know what value I provide, I just want to get paid.
Well, that's great advice. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay, so this is one of my questions. So it sounds like you make a lot of fun videos and just a lot of fun content and such. Do you ever have like where you use blooper reels and show those at all?
I haven't in a while. Now that I say this, I could probably tell my team to find some because I know they've done blooper reels before where like I said something wrong or maybe I cussed or something just random happened. But not really. I don't, you know, now that you say that, I'm probably going to do it now because why not? I like to have fun and throw random things in there.
Great. So this will be our last question, but I do have some information before everybody leaves. But Danny would like to know, how do you avoid creativity burnout?
It's a great question. There's some days where, because I'm like so disciplined in what I do with content, where I really don't want to create a video, but I do it anyways. And I just figure out usually that video like becomes one that rewards me in some way, the views or the person that reaches out. I also, one hack is like, I have so much content built up that are in my phone that I'll repurpose content that was posted last month or posted last year. So now I have well over 1,000 videos that are produced that I can just repurpose. So that's one thing. And then one thing that I really think that's really helped me with my creativity is I travel so much. I meet so many amazing people from all walks of life, and it gives me creativity. And so when I travel and I'm in a different area, I look at the content I create, I'm putting on social media is my reality TV show. People that watch me are watching a reality TV show. The reality TV show is the life of Brendan C. Adams. And so I want to bring value and creativity to them. So I'm bringing them into situations, whether in a private jet or meeting with some very famous person or just going to a random city to a coffee shop. I'm bringing them inside my life and creating a video around it to make them feel like they're there with me. And then I'm posting that. So my creativity comes from my outside environment. Sometimes you're going to have to get out of your main office, get out of your house, go to a different location, and that will inspire you to get creativity around the content you create. That's helped me and helps that I travel every week. So I'm always creative.
That's great. Well, it really sounds like you're just really doing what you enjoy, living the big life.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're calling this passive income, but it's almost like not really even working. For you, at least, it seems like you make it seem so simple and everything. So that's really great. And I think this has been very inspiring to a lot of our attendees today.
Yeah. And let me just add one thing there. There's passive income out there, but not everybody will tell you, like, to get to the passive income, you have to put in the work too. Nothing will come for free. You got to put in the work, but if you stick with it and you consistently show up, you're going to put yourself in position. It's like people say sometimes, oh, you got lucky. Well, the harder I work, the luckier I get. And so when you start putting yourself in positions to meet the right people, create the right content, you're going to get those opportunities that could be, oh, I just got a deal that'll pay me for the next 10 years, but I put all the work in ahead of time. So they're out there. And you gotta stay consistent with it.
Great. Brandon, thank you so much for your time today. This has been
Yes.
really great. We appreciate it.